Number one, we want to hear from you, the citizen.
Every day, people visit the Capitol to testify in front of committees. But if they can't make the trip, there's another way to be heard. The Request to Speak system is an interactive link that easily connects the citizens to the legislative process.
It's cutting edge. I mean, we're seeing a lot of states want to copy and emulate our system. So it's pretty exciting that we're the best, I think, one of the best when it comes to our Request to Speak system.
Before the electronic system was started and people could log on from anywhere, citizens came to the Capitol and filled out a paper form to request to speak.
My first year here was paper, and at that time I was the vice chair of the Commerce Committee, so it was my job to take the papers, which was a 3-folded system, rip the top one off, separate it by bill, separate it by who was supporting and not, and then give it to the chairman. And then, of course, he had a thumb through it to see who was going to come up and speak. This is much quicker and much easier.
The system became electronic in 2001, and since then, the number of users has steadily increased. Citizens can access the Request to Speak system from the internet by logging on to the legislature's website.
I thought that, well, there's got to be a better way to go ahead and contact the senators and representatives and let them know how I feel.
Bryan Ginter is an Arizona citizen who used the website to find out how to do just that.
But I saw it out there and I says, oh, you could talk to them? You can tell them what you think about their bills in committee? This is interesting. How do I do this? So I read the instructions online, said go down to the kiosks, down at either the Senate or the House, and you register on the system. I thought from that point on, once you register, I could do this from anywhere. And which is true. It's just a very simple, easy process. Name, address, created my online ID and password, and it was done. It takes a little work and a little bit of time to learn the system, but it's not difficult.
You can't mess up. When you enter your information onto the system, whether you're doing it from home or whether you're doing it from down here, you don't have to speak just because you're putting your name into the system. There's a little yes or no box, meaning do you wish to speak. So for someone who's intimidated in using it, all they would really need to do is make sure that there was a little N next to their name. They just want to get their voice across, but they're not, or their opinion, but they're not actually interested in coming down here and speaking.
And it's a very effective use of an individual's time, because you can do it from the comfort of your home. You can do it without any outside influences. It's your opinion. It's you saying what you can in the system to the committees.
Mr. Bryan Ginter.
Bryan Ginter.
Bryan Ginter for.
Bryan Ginter for himself.
Bryan Ginter.
Bryan Ginter for himself.
He pretty much weighs in on about everything.
I kind of go overboard with the system because I speak to all the bills.
Madam Chairman,
Like Ginter, the public can watch committee meetings live on the internet.
You don't need to be physically in this building to get your thoughts and your views across to the committee. If you think about that, how amazing that is, that in real time you could be sitting at home watching the committee hearing and send your thoughts, and they're going to get it right away.
Madam Chairman, I move that the O'Halloran amendment be adopted.
I saw a bill being read in committee live, went on to the system, registered my opinion on the bill while it was still in committee, and before the vote was called, the chairman of the committee went in and read what was in the system.
For the bill, Bryan Ginter, representing Salt.
And there was my opinion that it hadn't been there moments before.
Some committee members like hearing from the public.
Well, I'm always most fascinated by the citizens who use the system. I'll give you an example.
My name is Salvador Reza.
If we're doing a bill that deals with subcontractors and contractors, and it's nothing that I've had intimate experience with. I've never laid tile. I've never done plumbing. Those are the people I want to hear from. How is this bill going to affect what they do every day? That is most important and most beneficial.
My name is Melody Jaffrey. I'm a doctor.
A lot of times down here at the legislature, we hear a lot from lobbyists, but we don't hear from our rank and file constituents. So it's a good way for the constituents just to say, hey, I'm interested in what's going on. I'm going to get on my computer. I'm going to log in, and I'm going to weigh in on what's going on at the legislature. And so it's pretty simple, and it's pretty important.
But Ginter thinks there aren't enough people using the system.
Sometimes I'll go in the system and I'll look, and there'll be, in the past I've looked where there's been some bills that I thought were fairly important. And on occasion I found that I was the only one in the entire state speaking to a bill. I think it's important for citizens to be involved, to know what's going on, and to speak their mind, to have a piece of that process. And this is just a small part in a small way that I can do, and to me it's like doing my duty.
If you're interested in reaching lawmakers, come to the Capitol to create an account. Then view bills that affect you from your home at www.azledge.gov.